My name is Hildegard, and at 29 years old, I learned that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is disappoint the people who refuse to love you as you are. For 9 months, my family demanded I lose weight for my sister's wedding. They monitored every bite I ate, commented on my body in front of strangers, and made me feel like I was the problem that needed fixing before the big day. So I did something they never saw coming. I spent $3,900 on a luxury beach vacation and missed the wedding entirely. And when my photos from Paradise went viral, they learned a lesson about body shaming they'll never forget. Before I tell you how I turned their cruelty into the best decision of my life, drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe, because when those vacation photos went public, my family discovered that humiliation cuts both ways. I work as a marketing coordinator for a tech startup in Austin, Texas. My life is pretty normal. I have my own apartment, a solid friend group, a career I enjoy. I'm 5 feet 6 inches tall, size 14, around 170 pounds. Most days I feel good about myself. I do yoga twice a week, hike on weekends, eat relatively healthy. I focus on how my body feels, not what the scale says. But my family has never let me forget that I don't fit their definition of acceptable. My mother, Joyce, is 56 years old and a former beauty pageant contestant. She competed in Miss Texas back in the 80s, didn't win, but never let go of that world. Everything is about appearances with her, how things look, what people think. She spent my entire life disappointed that I didn't inherit her naturally thin frame. My father, Donald, is 58, a successful real estate developer who makes good money and enables every single one of my mother's toxic behaviors. He never contradicts her, never defends me, just nods along while she criticizes everything from my hair to my clothes to my body. Then there's my sister, Amber. She's 26, 3 years younger than me, and she's everything my parents ever wanted. Naturally thin size, 5 feet 8 inches tall, with the kind of body that looks good in anything. She's an influencer with 80,000 Instagram followers, posts lifestyle and fashion content, gets free products sent to her constantly. She's sweet but self-absorbed, the golden child who can do no wrong. Growing up, I was always the bigger sister. Not even actually big, just bigger than Amber. My mother would sigh when we went clothes shopping, hold up tiny dresses, and say things like, "Well, this would look better on Amber's frame." I learned early that my body was a disappointment. But I worked on it. I went to therapy in my 20s. I followed body positive influencers. I learned to accept myself, to wear clothes that fit well and made me feel confident. By the time I was 29, I was in a good place mentally. I liked my life. I liked myself. Then Amber got engaged. It was December when it happened. Her boyfriend, Trevor, who works in finance and comes from serious money, proposed at an expensive restaurant downtown. The whole thing was photographed professionally. Amber posted the photos on Instagram and got 20,000 likes within an hour. My parents were ecstatic. Their perfect daughter was having a perfect engagement. I was genuinely happy for her. I really was. Amber and I have always had a complicated relationship, but she's still my sister. I hope this wedding would be a positive family event, something we could all celebrate together without drama. I should have known better. 2 weeks after the engagement, my parents hosted a family dinner to discuss wedding plans. It was January, cold outside, but warm in their formal dining room. Amber was glowing, talking a mile a minute about her vision for the big day. The wedding was scheduled for September, 9 months away, 250 guests at a country club venue, budget of $90,000. Amber had already booked the photographer, picked a color scheme of blush pink and gold, started a Pinterest board with hundreds of ideas. She wanted 6 bridesmaids, and I was going to be the maid of honor. I felt honored, actually. Despite our differences, she wanted me standing beside her on the most important day of her life. That's when my mother said something that made my stomach drop. "We have plenty of time to get everyone looking perfect." I looked up from my plate. "What does that mean? Just that everyone should look their best, honey?" My mother smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "You know how important wedding photos are. They last forever." I felt something uncomfortable twist in my chest, but pushed it down. I was being paranoid. She was just talking about hair and makeup. Nothing sinister. I left that dinner feeling uneasy, but convinced myself I was overreacting. 2 weeks later, my mother called about bridesmaid dress shopping. The conversation started normally enough. Then she said it. Maybe you should start a little diet, sweetie, just to feel confident in the dress. You know how fitted bridesmaid dresses can be. I felt like I'd been slapped. I feel confident now, Mom. Of course you do, she said quickly. But photos last forever. And wouldn't you want to look back without regrets? Then came the comparison. Amber's other bridesmaids are all so petite. I just want you to feel comfortable standing next to them. Standing next to them. Like I was a problem that needed solving. Like my body was something shameful that would ruin the aesthetic of my sister's perfect day. I'm healthy and happy with myself, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm just trying to help you, Marcella. Why are you being defensive? She always did that. Turned it around so I was the unreasonable one for being hurt by her cruelty. The call ended with tension hanging between us. I sat on my couch and cried. Then I called my best friend Naomi, my college roommate who'd known me for over a decade. Your mom is toxic, Naomi said flatly when I told her. You look amazing. Don't let her get in your head. I tried to believe her. I told myself maybe it was a one-time comment. Maybe my mother would drop it. She didn't. February came, and with it more wedding planning events, more family dinners, more subtle comments about my appearance. Have you thought about trying that new gym? Amber's trainer is amazing, you should call her. Just a salad for you tonight, right? Each comment was like a paper cut. Small, but they added up. By early March, I was anxious every time my phone rang with my mother's number. But I didn't realize yet that this was just the beginning. The real humiliation was still coming. Early March brought the bridesmaid dress shopping appointment. It was scheduled at an upscale bridal boutique in downtown Austin, the kind of place with champagne and floor-to-ceiling mirrors and sales consultants who hover attentively. All 6 bridesmaids were there. Amber, of course, my mother, and the other 5 bridesmaids who I barely knew. They were all friends of Amber from her influencer world. Yoga instructors, fitness coaches, women who posted green smoothie recipes and workout videos. All of them sizes 0 through 4. Naturally thin, effortlessly beautiful. And then there was me. The boutique was everything Amber had dreamed of. Soft lighting, delicate music, racks of gorgeous gowns in every shade imaginable. The consultant brought out champagne and crystal flutes. Everyone was excited, chattering about the wedding. Amber had already chosen the bridesmaid dress style, a fitted mermaid silhouette in blush pink. Beautiful but unforgiving. The kind of dress that shows every curve, every bump, every imperfection. The first bridesmaid tried hers on, size 0. She looked like she'd stepped out of a magazine. Everyone cooed and clapped. The second bridesmaid, size 2. Stunning. More applause. The third, fourth, fifth, all perfect, all tiny. All exactly what my mother wanted in wedding photos. Then it was my turn. The consultant brought out a size 14. I took it to the dressing room, my hands shaking slightly. I pulled it on, zipped it up. It fit, technically, but it was tight across my hips and bust. Not uncomfortable, just fitted, the way the dress was designed to be. I stepped out onto the platform in front of the mirrors. I actually thought I looked nice. The color was pretty against my skin. The style was elegant. Then I saw my mother's face in the mirror behind me. That expression. Lips pursed, eyes narrowed, the look of pure disappointment. The consultant smiled professionally. Beautiful. We could order the 16 if you'd like a bit more room for comfort. Before I could answer, my mother spoke up. Or Hildegard could lose a few pounds by September. That's 6 months away. Plenty of time. The room went silent. Every single person turned to look at me standing on that platform. The other bridesmaids suddenly found the floor very interesting. The consultant's smile froze in place. Amber jumped in, cheerfully oblivious to how devastating this was. Yeah, Hildy, you totally could. I'll send you my trainer's info. She's amazing. I stood there in that tight dress under those bright lights in front of all those mirrors, feeling like I wanted to disappear into the floor. My face burned. My throat closed up. I forced a smile. Sure, I'll think about it. I changed back into my regular clothes as quickly as possible. We ordered the dress in size 14. I left the boutique feeling sick to my stomach. The entire drive home I replayed the moment, standing on that platform. My mother's suggestion. Everyone staring. The humiliation of being discussed like I was a problem to be fixed. When I got to my apartment, I went straight to my bedroom and cried until my eyes were swollen. But that wasn't even the worst of it. Late March brought what my parents called a family meeting. They invited me over for dinner on a Tuesday night. I thought maybe we were going to discuss wedding logistics. Maybe talk about my maid of honor speech. Normal things. Instead, when I arrived, both my parents were sitting at their formal dining room table with serious expressions. No food in sight. This wasn't a dinner. This was an intervention. "Sweetheart, we want to talk about the wedding." I sat down slowly. "Okay." My mother leaned forward, hands folded on the table. "We're worried you're not taking this seriously." "Taking what seriously?" "Your weight, honey. You're the maid of honor. You'll be in every photo, standing right next to Amber." My father jumped in. "Your mother and I want to help. We'll pay for a personal trainer and a nutritionist, 6 months of sessions 3 times a week." I blinked at them. "You want to pay for me to lose weight? We want to pay for you to be healthy and confident," my mother corrected. The goal was clear, though. They wanted me to lose 30 to 40 pounds by September. 2 pounds per week, my father explained like it was a reasonable business proposal. "Think about Amber," my mother said. "It's her special day. Don't you want the photos to be beautiful? Don't you want the photos to be beautiful? As if my body existing in them would make them ugly." I started crying right there at their dining room table. I couldn't help it. The two people who were supposed to love me unconditionally had just told me I wasn't acceptable as I was. "I don't understand why you're being so emotional." My mother said, her voice cold. I left. I got in my car and drove away while tears streamed down my face. I called Naomi from the parking lot of a grocery store, barely able to speak through my sobs. She was furious. "They're abusive, Hildegard. This is emotional abuse. You know that, right?" I didn't know. Or maybe I did, but couldn't admit it yet. The weeks that followed were relentless. My mother started texting me daily. Diet tips, workout videos, before and after photos of strangers who'd lost dramatic amounts of weight. Every single message was a reminder that I wasn't good enough. "Saw this keto recipe, you should try it. This woman lost 50 pounds in 4 months. Have you called that trainer yet?" Amber got involved too. She started tagging me in Instagram posts from fitness influencers. "Motivation for you. We could do this together." At family dinners, my mother monitored everything I put on my plate. She'd suggest salad instead of pasta, comment on my portion sizes, offer helpful tips about intermittent fasting. My father never said a word, just watched, just enabled. Then extended family started commenting. An aunt mentioned that she'd heard I was preparing for the wedding. A cousin asked if I was getting in shape for Amber's big day. My mother had clearly told everyone about the problem of my body. In May, Amber posted a workout selfie on Instagram with the caption, "Getting wedding ready with my girls." She tagged all 6 bridesmaids. The implication was clear. We were all supposed to be transforming ourselves. I felt publicly called out, humiliated on social media, now not just in private. And here's the terrible part. I actually tried to comply. I hired a personal trainer in May, met with him 3 times a week at $200 a week. I changed my entire diet, cut out carbs and sugar, counted every calorie, weighed my food on a kitchen scale. I lost 8 pounds in 6 weeks. But I was miserable, constantly tired, irritable because I was always hungry. I stopped going out with friends because I couldn't eat restaurant food. I became obsessed with food, thinking about it every waking moment. My mother's reaction when I told her about the 8 pounds. "That's great, honey, but you need to lose more." The goalpost had moved. Originally, she'd said 30 pounds. Now she wanted 40. Amber's reaction was similar. "You're doing amazing, but don't give up now." I was exhausted, physically from the restrictive eating, emotionally from the constant pressure. And I was starting to realize something terrible. Nothing I did would ever be enough. Late June brought another dress fitting, 3 months before the wedding. I'd been starving myself for 6 weeks. I'd lost 8 pounds. I showed up at the boutique wearing shapewear under my clothes, not having eaten all day, desperate to prove I was trying. The other bridesmaids were already there when I arrived. They looked exactly the same as they had in March, still tiny, still perfect. They hadn't needed to change at all. The consultant brought out my dress. Size 14, same as before. I put it on in the dressing room. It fit slightly better with the weight loss. Not dramatically different, but better. I stepped onto the platform and looked in the mirror. I actually thought I looked nice. The dress fit well. I'd worked so hard. Then my mother walked around me, examining me like I was livestock at auction. It's better. That was it. Just, it's better. Not you look beautiful, not I'm proud of your effort. Just acknowledgement that I was slightly less of a disappointment. Amber tilted her head, studying me critically. Maybe a little snug across the back still. The consultant tried to intervene diplomatically. The dress fits perfectly for this size. We're not looking for perfect for the size, my mother said sharply. We're looking for perfect. One of the other bridesmaids, a kind woman named Jessica, spoke up. She looks beautiful. The dress is lovely on her. My mother gave her a tight smile. Of course she's beautiful. We're just trying to help her be her best self. Then came the final blow. My mother asked if I'd considered wearing Spanx underneath for the actual wedding day. The conversation was happening in front of everyone. Other customers in the boutique, sales consultants, all the bridesmaids. Everyone hearing my mother discuss my body like it was a project that needed more work. My face burned. I wanted to disappear. Amber, oblivious as always, was taking selfies in her wedding dress across the room. She wasn't even paying attention to what was happening. I changed back into my regular clothes as quickly as possible, made an excuse about needing to get to work and fled. In my car in the parking lot, I completely broke down, sobbed so hard I could barely breathe. I'd been starving myself for 6 weeks. 6 weeks of being hungry and tired and miserable. And it still wasn't enough. It would never be enough. I called Naomi. I can't do this anymore. You shouldn't have to do this at all. Her voice was fierce. Your family is abusive. This is not normal. I've been so miserable. I hate my body now when I didn't before. Why are you putting yourself through this? And that's when the thought formed. Crystal clear, undeniable. What if I just didn't go to the wedding? It seemed impossible at first. I was the maid of honor. My family would never forgive me. But the seed was planted, and over the next few days, it grew. Early July brought the 4th of July family barbecue at my parents' house. Extended family was there. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. Everyone gathered around picnic tables in the backyard eating hamburgers and potato salad. I was careful about what I put on my plate. A small burger, some fruit, a spoonful of salad. My mother watched every move. Just salad for you, right, honey? You're still working on your goal. My grandmother, a sweet woman in her 80s, looked confused. What goal? Hildegard looks fine to me. She's losing weight for the wedding photos, my mother explained loudly enough for half the party to hear. Nonsense, my grandmother said. She doesn't need to lose weight. You don't understand modern photography. Everything shows. My uncle, my father's brother, thought he was being funny. Better hit the gym, Hildy. Can't have any chubby bridesmaids in the photos. Several relatives laughed. They thought it was a harmless joke. I sat there with a forced smile, wanting to die. Amber chimed in cheerfully. Don't worry, Hildy's been working really hard. She's doing great. My cousin, who's around Amber's age, said casually. Honestly, though, wouldn't it be easier to just let her wear something different if she can't fit the dress? My mother actually considered this. That's not a bad idea. Maybe a different style for Hildegard. Something more flattering for her shape. They were discussing having me wear a different dress than the other bridesmaids, singling me out visually because I wasn't thin enough. I excused myself to the bathroom, locked the door, stared at my reflection in the mirror. The woman looking back at me was defeated, exhausted, a shadow of who I'd been 9 months ago before this nightmare started. And in that moment, I made my decision. I wasn't going to that wedding. That night I went home and opened my laptop. I searched for all-inclusive resorts in Mexico, September dates, something far enough away that I couldn't be reached or guilted into returning. I found it, a luxury beach resort in Tulum, 5 nights September 10th through 15th. The wedding was September 12th. I'd be on a beach in paradise while they were at that country club. The package was $3,900, deluxe oceanfront suite with a private balcony. All meals included, spa treatments, private beach access. It was more money than I'd ever spent on a vacation. But I stared at that booking page and thought about what I'd be buying. Peace, freedom, self-respect. My cursor hovered over the confirm button. I wasn't quite ready yet, but I was close. The next 2 weeks brought more of the same. More comments, more pressure, more texts from my mother about diets and workouts, more Instagram posts from Amber about getting wedding ready. The timeline was getting closer. September was approaching. Their expectations were only increasing, and my resolve was strengthening daily. Mid-July arrived. Amber created a wedding hashtag on Instagram and started posting content with it. Photos of the venue, bridesmaid dress swatches, flower arrangements. Then she posted a comparison photo. On the left, a picture from the engagement party back in December. All 6 bridesmaids together. On the right, a recent photo from a wedding planning event. The caption read, "My amazing bridesmaids then and now. Everyone looking so good and getting ready for the big day." I looked at the photos. 5 of the bridesmaids looked exactly the same. Thin in December, thin now. But me, I looked essentially identical. Maybe slightly smaller, but basically the same. The comments section filled up quickly. "Wow, everyone looks amazing. The bridesmaid's second from left is stunning." Then I saw it, a comment that made my blood run cold. "Has the one on the end been working out?" She looks the same. Amber's response heart emoji, and she's working on it. She's working on it. Public acknowledgement that I was a project, that my body was something being fixed for her wedding. My phone buzzed. Naomi had screenshot the post and sent it to me with a message. "This is it. You need to do something." She was right. I opened my laptop, pulled up that Tulum resort booking page, the one I'd been looking at for 2 weeks. This time I didn't hesitate. I entered my credit card information, selected the deluxe oceanfront suite, September 10th through 15th, $3,900. I hit confirm. The confirmation email arrived instantly. My reservation was booked. The deposit was non-refundable. I'd done it. I'd actually done it. I felt terrified and liberated at the same time. There was no turning back now. The next 2 weeks I prepared in secret. I told no one except Naomi, who was completely supportive. I requested vacation time from work, booked my flights from Austin to Cancun with a shuttle to the resort, started shopping for resort wear. I specifically bought clothes that fit my current body, swimsuits in my actual size, sundresses that made me feel confident now, not at some imaginary future weight. No goal outfits, no aspirational sizes, just clothes that fit and felt good. I practiced what I would say when I told my family. I wrote out the exact message, rehearsed it out loud, prepared for their reaction. Naomi kept telling me I was doing the right thing. "They don't deserve you there. You deserve peace." I kept attending wedding planning events, pretended everything was normal, smiled and nodded while my mother discussed last-minute details. Early August brought the final dress fitting. The dress fit fine. I'd maintained the 8-pound weight loss but hadn't lost more. My mother's comment, "Well, it's not perfect, but I suppose it'll have to do." I smiled, knowing I'd never wear that dress. Late August came, 3 weeks before the wedding. Time to tell them. I carefully crafted a group text to my parents and Amber, spent hours getting the wording right. Firm, but not angry. Honest, but not cruel. "I need to tell you something. I won't be attending the wedding. I've booked a vacation to Mexico for that week. I know this is surprising, but I need to be honest. For months, you've made me feel like my body is a problem that needs fixing. You've criticized, monitored, and humiliated me publicly and privately. I've lost weight, hired trainers, restricted my eating, and it's never been enough. I realized I don't want to spend Amber's wedding day feeling ashamed of myself, so I'm choosing to spend it somewhere I can feel at peace. I love you all, but I can't be part of an event where I'm made to feel less than. My decision is final. I read it over 20 times. Then I hit send. My phone immediately started ringing. I ignored it. Text messages flooded in, one after another. Rapid fire. From my mother. "This is ridiculous. You're being so selfish. How could you do this to your sister?" From my father. "Hildegard, call me immediately. This is unacceptable. You're acting like a child." From Amber. "Are you serious right now? This is my wedding. I can't believe you're doing this to me." The voicemails came next. My mother crying, saying I was ruining everything. My father stern and demanding I reconsider. Amber oscillating between fury and tears. "You're my sister. How can you abandon me?" I let them vent, let them rage. Then I sent one final text. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm protecting myself. I hope you all have a beautiful wedding. I'll be unavailable during my trip. I turned my phone off. The next few days were brutal, even with my phone mostly off. I checked it once daily to hundreds of messages. Extended family got involved. My aunt texted that she was very disappointed in me. Cousins weighed in. Some were quietly supportive in private messages. Others were critical. One cousin wrote, I get it, but this seems extreme. Amber's friends started messaging me on social media. Amber is devastated. Can't you just suck it up for one day? Even family friends got involved. My mother had clearly told her entire social circle. One of her friends actually called me, tried to guilt trip me into changing my mind. Everyone was pressuring me to give in, to put aside my feelings and just show up, to be the good daughter, the good sister. But here's what nobody did. Not one single person apologized for how they treated me. Not one person acknowledged the 9 months of body shaming. Not one person said maybe we were wrong. They only cared about how my absence would affect them. Naomi pointed this out when I told her about all the messages. Notice how not one person has said sorry for making you feel terrible. They only care that you're not doing what they want. She was right, and it actually strengthened my resolve. Their reaction proved I'd made the right choice. September 10th arrived, my departure day. I packed my new resort wear, my swimsuits that fit, my sundresses that made me feel beautiful. I took one last look at my apartment, then headed to the airport. The wedding was in 2 days. I'd be on a beach in Mexico, far away, unreachable, free. I landed in Cancun on a bright, hot afternoon. The shuttle to Tulum took about 2 hours driving along the coast with glimpses of turquoise water through the palm trees. By the time I arrived at the resort, the sun was starting to lower in the sky, painting everything golden. The resort was absolutely stunning. White sand beaches, crystal clear water, elegant buildings with thatched roofs and open-air designs. Everything was beautiful and peaceful and exactly what I needed. At check-in, they told me I'd been upgraded to an even better oceanfront suite. I could see the ocean from my bed, hear the waves from my private balcony. I unpacked slowly, putting away my new clothes. Everything I'd bought specifically for this trip. Everything that fit my body as it was right now. That first evening, I walked on the beach at sunset. The sand was soft under my feet. The water was warm. The sky turned shades of pink and orange that didn't seem real. I felt peace for the first time in 9 months. Real, genuine peace. Dinner that night was at the resort's beachfront restaurant. I ordered pasta carbonara and chocolate lava cake for dessert. I didn't count a single calorie, didn't feel guilty, just enjoyed every bite. At the table next to me was a woman traveling alone. We started chatting. Her name was Diana. She was 42, divorced, on a self-discovery trip after her marriage ended. We ended up having drinks together. I told her my story. The wedding, the body shaming, the decision to come here instead. Good for you, she said firmly. They sound toxic. You deserve better. We became fast friends over the next day. She was easy to talk to, non-judgmental, refreshingly honest. That first night I slept better than I had in months. The sound of waves, the comfortable bed. No anxiety about what I'd eaten or how I looked. Just rest. September 11th, the day before the wedding. Diana suggested we do a photo shoot on the beach. I hesitated. Old insecurity creeping in. Years of my mother's comments about how I looked in photos. You're beautiful, Diana said. Own it. Show yourself having the time of your life. So we did it. I wore my new turquoise sundress, let my hair down, put on natural makeup. We walked down to the beach in the morning light. Diana took dozens of photos. Me walking in the surf, sitting on the sand, arms raised in a freedom pose, laughing genuinely because I felt genuinely happy. When I looked at the photos, I saw something I hadn't seen in months. Joy. Real, authentic joy. Not perfectly posed influencer shots, just real moments of contentment. I selected the 5 best photos. Then I opened Instagram. I carefully crafted a caption. Honest, but not mean. Assertive, but not angry. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is choose peace over presence. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Hashtag self-love. Hashtag no apologies. Hashtag choosing me. I tagged the location. Tulum, Mexico. I didn't tag my family members, didn't mention the wedding specifically, just posted my truth. I hit share. Within minutes, my friends started commenting. You look amazing. Good for you. You're glowing. Naomi commented. Queen energy with 3 crown emojis. I put my phone away and went to enjoy my day. Spa massage, facial, pool time, fancy lunch. I was living my best life while my family prepared for a wedding I wasn't attending. That afternoon, my phone started buzzing constantly. I ignored it mostly. But curiosity got the better of me around dinner time. My post was blowing up. A large body positivity account with 300,000 followers had shared it. Their caption, "This woman chose herself over family pressure. This is what self-love looks like." The comments were pouring in. Thousands of them. Women sharing their own stories of family body shaming. People relating to choosing yourself over toxic situations. My post was being screenshot and shared on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Someone had made a TikTok video using my photos with trending audio about choosing yourself. That video had 2 million views in 12 hours. My Instagram followers jumped from 800 to 15,000 in one day. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. I needed to see this today. You're an inspiration. I wish I had your courage. There were some negative comments. But it's your sister's wedding. Seems selfish. But they were drowned out by support. News outlets started picking up the story. A local Austin blog ran a piece. Body positive websites featured my story as an example of boundary setting. The irony was not lost on me. My family had wanted perfect photos. Now my real authentic photos were everywhere, being celebrated by thousands, while they'd spent months criticizing. September 12th, the wedding day. I woke up in paradise, not in a bridesmaid dress, not preparing to stand next to my tiny sister while feeling ashamed, just waking up peacefully in a beautiful place. I did yoga on my balcony, had a leisurely breakfast of fresh fruit and pastries, went to the spa for a massage and facial. I thought about the wedding happening back in Texas. Right now, guests were probably arriving at the country club. Amber was probably getting her hair done. My mother was probably making last-minute adjustments to everything. And I felt nothing but relief. I spent the afternoon at the pool, met more resort guests, had actual fun with people who didn't know anything about my family drama. Someone recognized me. Aren't you the woman from that viral post? It was surreal, being recognized for choosing myself. That evening, I had a fancy dinner at the resort's upscale restaurant, ordered lobster and champagne, raised my glass in a private toast to choosing peace. I checked my phone briefly. Amber had posted wedding photos. The wedding looked beautiful. She looked stunning in her dress. There were 5 bridesmaids instead of 6. The comments on her post included questions. Where's your sister? Is she the one who went to Mexico instead? Some people had clearly connected the dots. My viral post and Amber's wedding happening the same day. Amber's perfect image was slightly tarnished by questions about her missing sister. I felt a twinge of guilt, but mostly peace. Diana joined me for dinner. Any regrets, she asked. Not even one, I said honestly. The next few days were pure relaxation. Beach walks, good food, interesting conversations. No drama, no criticism. No one commenting on my body. I posted a few more vacation photos. The engagement kept growing. Brands started reaching out about partnerships. My family's reaction was growing too, but I wasn't checking those messages. September 16th came too quickly. Time to go home. I flew back to Austin feeling different, stronger, transformed. The same woman who'd left but fundamentally changed in how I saw myself. My apartment looked the same when I walked in. But I was different. I unpacked slowly, put away my resort clothes, looked at the photos from the trip on my phone, evidence of 5 days where I'd chosen myself. Then I turned my phone on fully for the first time in almost a week. The avalanche of messages was staggering. 27 voicemails from family, hundreds of texts. I started reading through my mother's texts chronologically. The evolution was telling. Early texts from before the wedding. You've embarrassed this entire family. Everyone is asking where you are. Texts from the wedding day. People keep asking questions about why you're not here. This is humiliating. Recent texts. Your post has made us look terrible. Take it down immediately. Amber's text followed a similar pattern. Before the wedding, I can't believe you missed my day. You're so selfish. Everyone keeps asking about you. This is supposed to be about me. After your Instagram is everywhere. You made my wedding about you. My father's messages were brief and cold. Your mother is humiliated. Hope you're satisfied. You've destroyed this family over vanity. Extended family reactions were mixed. Some cousins texted privately with support. Good for you, they needed to learn. Others sent messages about disrespect and family duty. My aunt had left a long voicemail about how disappointed she was, how family comes first, how I'd ruined Amber's special day. But buried in all the angry messages were a few that gave me pause. One cousin who'd also struggled with body image thanked me for standing up for myself. A younger cousin said I'd inspired her. The day after I got home, my mother called. I almost didn't answer, but I knew I'd have to face them eventually. I picked up. Do you have any idea what you've done? Her voice was shaking with rage. I went on vacation, I said calmly. You made a spectacle of yourself and humiliated your sister. How did I humiliate her? Everyone's talking about it. Her wedding is overshadowed by your stunt. I didn't mention the wedding in my post, I pointed out, but everyone knows, and now they're judging us. There it was, the real issue. Not that I'd been hurt, not that they'd spent 9 months body shaming me, but that people were judging them. We need to have a family meeting, my mother demanded. All of us. Tomorrow. Surprisingly, I agreed. I felt ready. I had clarity now, boundaries firmly in place. Naomi was concerned when I told her. Are you sure you want to face them? I need to, I said. For closure. I spent that evening mentally preparing. I wouldn't apologize. I wouldn't back down. I'd speak my truth calmly and firmly. The family meeting was at my parents' house the next day, their formal living room, the same room where they'd held the intervention about my weight back in March. Everyone was there. My mother, my father, Amber. Even Trevor Amber's new husband, though this really wasn't his business. They sat on one side of the room. I sat alone on the other, like a trial. The atmosphere was hostile, tense, angry. My mother started. I don't even know where to begin. Amber interrupted immediately. You ruined my wedding. I looked at her calmly. Your wedding looked beautiful. I saw the photos. That's not the point. Everyone was asking about you. And what did you tell them? That you had a conflict, Amber admitted. So you lied to protect me. We tried to cover for you, my mother said, to protect you from embarrassment. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. The absurdity was too much. Protect me. You've been attacking me for 9 months. We were trying to help you, my father said. Help me. I pulled out my phone. Let me read you some of your help. I read texts aloud. My mother's messages about dieting, about losing weight, about not looking good enough. I read her comment at the dress fitting about everyone needing to look perfect. I read Amber's Instagram caption. She's working on it. For 9 months, I said my voice steady, you made me hate myself. You commented on everything I ate. You discussed my body in front of strangers. You humiliated me repeatedly. And you called it help. The room was silent. But I was getting married, Amber said weakly. It was supposed to be perfect. And I was the imperfection you wanted to fix. My mother started crying. We just wanted everyone to look nice together. You wanted me to disappear into the background or change completely. My father tried to intervene. You're overreacting. Families comment on these things. Not healthy families, I said firmly. Not families that actually love each other. Trevor spoke up for the first time. Maybe everyone should calm down. I turned to him. You don't get a voice here. You don't know the history. You weren't there when they spent months destroying my self-esteem. He shut up. My mother stopped crying long enough to demand, take down those photos. Delete the post. Absolutely not, Amber pleaded. People think we're terrible. Maybe examine why I suggested. My mother tried manipulation. If you loved us, you wouldn't do this. I stood up. If you loved me, you wouldn't have treated me that way. I looked at each of them. I'm not apologizing. I chose myself over being uncomfortable for you. That was the right choice. I need space from all of you. Don't contact me unless you're ready to apologize. My father scoffed. We should apologize to you, yes. Until then, I'm done. I walked out for the second time, got in my car, drove home with steady hands and a calm heart. I knew they might never apologize, and I'd accepted that I'd be okay either way. Weeks passed after that confrontation. My family didn't contact me. I didn't contact them. The silence was actually peaceful. My life continued evolving in unexpected ways. My Instagram kept growing. 30,000 followers now, women from all over sending messages about their own experiences with body shaming. I started posting more content about self-acceptance, about setting boundaries, about choosing peace over toxic relationships. I wasn't trying to become an influencer, but I'd accidentally become a voice for people who'd been made to feel less than because of their bodies. Body-positive brands reached out about partnerships. I did a few sponsored posts. Nothing major, but enough that I actually made back the $3,900 I'd spent on the vacation. The irony was beautiful. Choosing myself had become profitable. I used my marketing skills to help other women tell their stories, started a small consulting business on the side, turned my pain into purpose. 2 months after the wedding, I got an email from my mother. The subject line read, "Can we talk?" I opened it cautiously. Hildegard, I've been thinking about what you said. Maybe we were too focused on appearances. Maybe we hurt you more than we realized. Can we meet for coffee? It wasn't a full apology. It was barely an acknowledgement, but it was a crack in the denial. I wrote back briefly, I appreciate you reaching out. I need more time. Amber sent a direct message on Instagram a week later. I miss you. I typed back carefully. I miss you too. But I can't have a relationship where my body is always a topic of discussion. She didn't respond right away. The conversation was left hanging. My personal life improved dramatically. I stopped weighing myself completely, threw away my scale, focused on how my body felt instead of what it looked like. I found a community of body-positive people, made new friends who valued me for who I was, not how I looked, started dating again without the anxiety that had plagued me before. I met someone named Jackson. He was 32, a graphic designer, kind and funny and genuine. When I told him my story on our third date, his response was immediate. Your family was wrong. You're stunning. Not you'll be stunning when or you could be stunning if. Just you're stunning. Present tense. As I was. We took things slow, but it felt different than past relationships. Built on respect, not on me trying to be smaller or different to be worthy of love. Work was going well, too. My boss had noticed my growing social media presence, asked if I'd be interested in leading a new campaign about authentic marketing. I got a promotion with a significant raise. My life was genuinely better than it had been before all of this. Losing my family's approval had paradoxically given me the freedom to build the life I actually wanted. 3 months after the wedding, I was having coffee with Naomi when I said something that surprised even me. I don't regret any of it. Not even missing the wedding, especially not missing the wedding. That $3,900 was the best money I ever spent. She smiled. You bought yourself. I bought self-respect, boundaries, peace, things I couldn't put a price on. Sometimes late at night I thought about that moment at the title company with Marcella's story. How she'd had a receipt that proved her case. I had something similar, screenshots of my mother's texts, photos from my vacation, evidence that I'd chosen myself. But unlike Marcella, I wasn't fighting for money back. I was fighting for something more valuable, the right to exist in my body without shame. Looking back at everything, I realized the lesson wasn't about weddings or family or even body image specifically. It was about truth, about the courage to see people clearly, even when that clarity is painful. My family had shown me who they really were, people who valued appearance over my well-being, who were willing to damage my mental health for aesthetic photos, who saw my body as a problem to be managed. And I'd made a choice to believe them when they showed me that, to stop making excuses for their behavior, to walk away. The girl who'd agreed to lose weight for her sister's wedding wouldn't recognize the woman I'd become. That girl had been willing to starve herself to earn love that should have been unconditional. This woman knew better. This woman understood that real love doesn't come with conditions about your size or shape. Real love accepts you as you are. I posted one final reflection on Instagram a few months later. A photo of me on that Tulum beach, arms raised to the sky, genuine smile on my face. The caption read, 3 months ago, I chose myself over my family's expectations. I spent $3,900 to miss my sister's wedding because I refused to spend one more day being ashamed of my body. Some people called it selfish. I call it self-preservation. You don't owe anyone access to your life at the cost of your mental health, not even family, especially not family. Choose yourself, always. The post got over 100,000 likes, thousands of comments from people saying I'd given them courage to set their own boundaries. My family saw it, I'm sure. I didn't care anymore. I was free. So let me ask you something because I genuinely want to know. Have you ever had to choose between family expectations and your own well-being? Have you ever walked away from people you loved because staying meant losing yourself? What did you do? How did it turn out? Drop a comment below and share your story. I read every single one. And if this resonated with you, if you've been body shamed by family or made to feel like you're not enough, please hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs permission to choose themselves. Let's build a community of people who refuse to shrink themselves to make others comfortable. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. I hope it reminds you that you are enough exactly as you are right now, not 10 pounds from now, not after the diet, not when you fit someone else's ideal. Right now. You deserve people in your life who celebrate you, not people who see you as a project. You deserve to take up space without apology. You deserve peace. Take care of yourselves. Set those boundaries. Protect your peace fiercely. And remember, sometimes the most loving thing you can do is disappoint people who refuse to love you as you are. Wishing you all the courage to stand up for yourselves and the wisdom to know when walking away is actually walking towards something better. You're worth it. You've always been worth it. Until next time.